GDP. When we had COVID, we were in the midst of COVID, we passed extraordinary measures. The president, well, went far beyond Congress with a $1.9 trillion plan. To say somehow that he's been cutting the deficit is just not realistic. And Senator Scott described the change in actual federal funding on a baseline basis. I think if you're serious about discussing the budget and what's going on, what our needs are, putting COVID funding aside is essential for that conversation. On a separate topic, you know, I'm not aware of anyone in this category, but are you aware of anyone of the elected officials we have in the federal government, at the Congress, or anywhere else that have proposed cutting or have currently proposed cutting benefits for Social Security of any kind?
Senator, I have heard of proposals.
No. You've heard of proposals from a current senator, currently or congressman, currently proposing to cut benefits to Social Security.
Yes. Have they changed their position? Maybe.
No.
Yes. Members who are current members.
I said, has anyone I mean, in the last several months or the last year, has anyone, Republican or Democrat, proposed Social Security benefits?
So now you're asking if people change their position? Maybe. But there are records.
Are you aware of anyone?
There is a record.
Are you aware of anyone? Excuse me. Are you aware of anyone? Are you aware of anyone proposing cutting Social Security benefits?
Your first question, current members have well-known policies out there to cut Social Security and Medicare.
That's simply wrong. That is simply wrong. And it's not honest to say that to members of Congress. That is simply wrong. There is no one who's recommending cutting Social Security benefits, all right? Number one. Number two, do you recognize that in the next 10 years or so, the trust fund on Social Security is going to run out, and under the law, benefits would be cut dramatically, like 25%. You're aware of that? I'm
aware.
Yeah. That's a problem, right?
Of course.
Well, why is it then that in the president's budget there's no effort to address that whatsoever?
And while we clearly disagree on this, there are some who have policies on websites. I'm happy to print them and send them to the committee. Whether they have changed their position is another thing. Who want to have policies.
Oh, wow, friends. There are huge negotiations that are starting right now in Congress. The federal government has also released a new update on Medicare, and millions of beneficiaries may begin to see a drastic change in their benefits starting in just a few weeks. Friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, I will be announcing 2 winners in a video later today for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, simply click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, the more likely your chances of winning the giveaways. Now, friends, government officials have just announced that some Medicare beneficiaries will begin paying less next month for 27 prescriptions, whose prices have increased at a rate that outpaces inflation. Depending on their individual coverage, beneficiaries could save between $2 and $390 per average dose for these prescriptions starting April 1st, 2023. According to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the reduced cost applies to certain prescriptions that are administered in a hospital or other clinical setting and are covered under Medicare Part B. Beneficiaries who typically pay 20% coinsurance under Medicare Part B will see their share decline based on the lower inflation adjusted price for the prescriptions on the list. And the list of prescriptions impacted by this coinsurance adjustment may change quarterly. The change is due to legislation adopted last year. The cost reduction for these 27 prescriptions is due to the implementation of provisions in the Inflation Reduction Act, which Congress passed last August. The law requires pharmaceutical manufacturers to pay a rebate to the Medicare program if their prescription prices rise faster than the rate of inflation, which is not uncommon. Half of all prescriptions covered by Medicare had list price increases that outpaced inflation between 2019 and 2020. This is not the only change to prescription coverage that Medicare beneficiaries may notice this year. The Inflation Reduction Act also capped monthly cost sharing for insulin delivered through Part D at $35, which took effect on January 1st. Part D deductibles, which vary from plan to plan, but cannot be more than $505 in 2023, also will not apply to the covered insulin product. Other provisions that are intended to reduce Medicare Part D spending take effect in later years. This includes eliminating an existing 5% coinsurance in the so-called catastrophic phase of coverage, which takes effect in 2024. President Biden called on Congress to pass legislation that would make it easier for the government to rescind bonuses and stock sale gains collected by executives whose actions caused bank failures in response to the recent collapse of two banks. Biden is also asking Congress to make it tougher for banking executives to land other jobs in the industry after the failure of institutions they led. In another move meant to deter risky actions that jeopardize a bank's health, the president wants Congress to expand the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation's ability to fine executives. Taken together, the proposals that President Biden put forward address misconduct coming from wayward bank executives. Left out were more systemic changes aimed at fortifying the banking system as a whole. A White House official said that the president's policy advisors are still devising a plan to strengthen banking regulations and are expected to announce it in the next coming weeks. Biden also added that Congress must act to impose tougher penalties for senior bank executives whose mismanagement contributed to their institutions failing. President Biden's remarks follows a pledge that he recently made, laying out the steps the government would take to make sure that those who deposited money at Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank would be made whole. He said that he wanted accountability for executives who put the banks at risk, rattling the nation's financial system and causing bank stocks to fall. So the immediate question arising from Biden's proposal is whether he can persuade Congress to take the actions he said are needed to prevent future bank failures and preserve the nation's financial system. But even getting Democrats to fall in line may prove difficult. In 2018, some moderate Senate Democrats joined forces with Republicans in rolling back certain regulations on mid-sized banks that had been put in place after the 2008 financial collapse. Many of those Democrats are standing by their 2018 votes, saying it's too early to know whether new regulations are necessary. Senate Democrat Sherrod Brown, the chair of the Senate Banking Committee, said he has low expectations for passing a bill to undo the 2018 deregulatory measures, but he said that there may be a bipartisan path to the 60 votes needed to break a filibuster on other measures. So, dear friends, are you worried about the U.S. banking system? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Well, my beautiful and most dearest friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Friday. Thank you so much, friends, for being here every day and for being part of this community. I will be announcing 2 winners in the next video for the Walmart gift card giveaway. Please make sure you enter the next giveaway by clicking and liking several of my videos. And then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My dear friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Friday.